Hi everyone, welcome to Reading with Reference, our final day of Sneak Peek Week. My name is Katherine. I'm one of the reference librarians at the Haverford Township Library, and I've got 4 novels that are coming out soon that I'm really excited to tell you all about. So let's get started. My first book is Utopia Avenue by David Mitchell, and it comes out July 14th. This book is almost 600 pages long, and I would have gladly read 600 more. I loved it so much. So in the late 1960s, in the midst of an explosion of new and experimental psychedelic music, maybe the newest and most experimental of all those bands forms in a nightclub in London, Utopia Avenue. It's headed up by rough, struggling blues bassist Dean Moss, newly heartbroken, wealthy folk vocalist and pianist Elf Holloway, and strange, dreamy guitar prodigy Jasper DeZote, after the group is assembled by their manager Levon, who's seen each of them playing the small clubs and bars in town and is dreaming of creating the ultimate supergroup. If you're at all familiar with David Mitchell, though he's more for Cloud Atlas, but he's also written many more wonderful books as well, then you know that there's always a bit of a surreal twist to his novels, and that's true of this one as well. But for the most part, it's the story of a group of people fighting to achieve their dreams, and maybe more importantly, it's a love letter to music and the bands of the 60s and 70s. If you liked Daisy Jones and the Six, if you love music in general or classic rock specifically, or if you're just looking for an incredibly engaging novel with wonderful characters, definitely check out Utopia Avenue when it comes out in July. So next, I have The Switch by Beth O'Leary, which is out August 18th. I loved Beth O'Leary's first book, The Flat Share, so I was thrilled to see that she had a new one coming out this year. Lena Cotton is a workaholic living in London who has just been forced to take a leave of absence from her job as she makes a big mistake in a presentation. At first, she's devastated, but when she goes to visit her grandmother Eileen in her small village, she comes up with an idea. The two will switch for a month with 79-year-old Eileen, who's ready to try dating again, but not exactly excited by the few prospects at home, going to live in London and testing out being seen there, and Lena taking a break and time to deal with the recent death of her sister in the tiny town. This is a really sweet, funny book, perfect for our times. It's all about human connection and loneliness and finding love and support from the people that you least expected. Plus, there are 2 really adorable romance plot lines, one for Lena and one for Eileen, that are a lot of fun as well. So that's The Switch by Beth O'Leary. Next, I have Transcendent Kingdom by Ya Jesse. It comes out September 8th. It's been almost 4 years since Ya Jesse's first book, Homegoing, came out, and I still think about it pretty regularly. If you haven't read that one, there's a bonus recommendation for you because it's really great. It's an incredible novel that follows 2 half-sisters in Ghana, one who was sold into the transatlantic slave trade and one who is married off to a European living in the slave castle and responsible for buying and selling human beings. This book, though, is set in contemporary California, but it's just as remarkable and unforgettable as Homegoing was. It follows Gifty, a Ghanaian-American neuroscience student at Stanford, who is researching addiction and the brain after her beloved brother Nana died of his opioid addiction some years before. At the same time as she's turning to science and hard facts for answers, she also finds herself turning back to her childhood faith and the intense belief and vision of her mother. Ya Jesse is such a sharp, gifted writer, and I really loved this book. It's a great one, so definitely check it out when it comes out in September. And finally, I have Dear Child by Romy Hausman. This is actually the book that I am reading right now. It's out October 6th. It's being billed as Gone Girl meets Room, and for good reason. 13 years ago, a young woman in Germany named Lena went missing. Even though they feared the worst, parents Matthias and Karen never stopped looking for her and hoping that they would find her alive. Then one night, a woman is brought to the hospital after a car accident, and she says that her name is Lena. She's the right age and even has a scar in the right place, but when Matthias is asked to identify her, he swears it's not his daughter. But whoever this woman is, she escaped a tiny, hidden cabin in the woods with a little girl who says she's her daughter, and it's clear that something terrible has happened there. I'm only about a third of the way through this book, but I've already gasped out loud at the twists several times. It's really great, and I'm enjoying it a lot, so that's another one to absolutely keep your eye out for in a few months. So those are my sneak recommendations. Hopefully you found something that catches your interest and you can put a hold on when we have them up online and are ready to go in person. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Take care.